Playing Among Us in 2023 is like playing with fidget spinners or wearing torn jeans or going outside. It's just not really something that you do anymore. In fact, the Steam charts for Among Us are showing a steep decline, but like a nice, good, consistent user base over time. But it's never really hit that massive high that it had at the start or the end of 2020. It kind of fizzled out into a nice, consistent player base, but not really something that people talk about anymore. No one's uploading 7 billion IQ Among Us backflip videos anymore. Some people still do it and they can make their channel off it, but I didn't expect morepat to make a video on this so long after its popularity kind of fizzled out and died. So he must have something good on this, right? He must have a good, solid theory. He's come together and he's learned something incredible.
And he had these jaws. Next thing I know, a sharp tongue shot out of his mouth and stabbed him right through the eye.
Can you describe who you saw?
Well, he was short, 2 stubby legs, little oval-shaped visor, kind of round at the top, had a cute backpack.
Yeah, sure, we all look like that. What I'm interested in is his color. What?
Whoa, Mr. Policeman. Now, listen, I know the police get a bad name every now and then, but you can't just be going out and asking someone about their color like that. That's screaming of some hidden bias there. But honestly, can I just say, like, people dunk on game theory because he comes up with silly theories every now and then. I think that game theory is really good because it's nice popcorn content that is really fun to watch on a weekly basis. The fact that they upload this on a weekly basis kind of boggles my mind as a YouTuber because I'm like, how do you make this? The animation, look, there's an animation in this.
Excuse me, what?
His color. What was his color?
This just being an intro to a video that isn't uploaded as a weekly series where they also upload food theories and film theories every week as well while writing the script and all that. I know the team is massive, but it blows my mind how they can do this so consistently.
I'm more than a bit offended that you would ask me a superficial question like that.
This is literally a world where we're all identified by our color.
Okay, I mean, that's a bit far, isn't it? Like, you're getting a little bit too real for us here, Mr. Policeman.
Some of us like to think that we should be judged on the merit of our actions and not the color of our suits. Maybe one day you'll understand that. Good day, sir.
Base morepat. Base. That was the correct thing. To walk away from the racist, to not give in to their ideology. So are we gonna find the murderer, or are we just... Oh, or we're not gonna be able to find the murderer, are we?
We lost our key witness. Let him go, boys.
He just seems like a...
Hello, Internet!
Fellow that drools.
To Game Theory, where the only sussy thing is not brutally murdering that subscribe button. Whoa, what are we doing here? An Among Us video?
Ooh,
what is
sussy
this,
memes.
2020? Nope.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Matt. I'm saying that making sussy jokes, that's a little toy
No
as
need
well.
to check the date on your watch page, loyal theorists. Today we're jumping back onto the Skeld with a new video on everyone's favorite multiplayer deduction.
Is there a new
game,
Among Us update? Is that why you made this?
Of all times? Honestly, it's because of the new Netflix movie Glass Onion. There's an Among Us joke in like the first 10 minutes.
True. That is a great movie, though.
You're the imposter. We all know it.
You're thrown out of the airlock. It's a no-brainer.
I don't understand this at all.
Nothing like a shirt.
That was probably the only good Among Us joke that I've heard in the past 2 years.
Daniel Craig in a bathtub to help rekindle interest in your franchise, am I right? And not only is Among Us front and
Nothing
center,
like 80-year-olds playing
emojis.
emojis.
IQ gamers, the short scene actually spoils a lot of the key plot points for the main mystery of the movie. To find out how exactly, we actually did a short on this over on Film Theory that you should go check out. Anyway, all that was enough to get me to pick up the game once again. And when I did, I was struck by one huge...
Is he making a new channel? Is his new channel gonna be a channel based on theories from YouTube videos? Because he said he was gonna make a new theory channel, right? I don't know, I've been racking my brain. I thought it was gonna be music theory, but that's just a minefield for copyright infringement. It could be book theory as well. But I was thinking maybe it'll be a video YouTube theory, right?
Overlooked in our past theories on how to win the game. A detail that is perhaps the highest IQ strategy of them all. The one crucial detail that makes a massive difference in any match that you're playing, even before the imposter is selected, your color. You see, every single emergency meeting, you always hear a single phrase uttered. The iconic meme, red is sus. It has its own Urban Dictionary page, it's got its own t-shirt. Heck, it's even got its own 38 million view song from the channel Shiloh and Bros.
What? Okay, that seems like it's not aimed at my age demographic.
That's all about avoiding detection and not raising suspicion. Hearing those words is practically a death sentence. So of course, it got my theorist cogs a turnin'. Is red indeed sus? Well, obviously the actions of the player
Did you guys know that having a red car actually puts it more in danger to be like broken into? Either because of the psychology of red makes people violent, therefore they're going to steal, or red cars are easier to like pick out and easier to just go like point out and be like, let's rob that one. But apparently red cars are more likely to get broken into.
Game are going to have a massive
So, yeah,
impact on whether
has an actual danger to it.
There are also a lot of subconscious variables that play in every
And getting pulled over, yeah.
Factors that affect the way that the game is going to go even before the imposter is chosen. Appearances do matter, and that's going to affect everything from job interviews in the real world to games of Among Us. And color is immediately one of the first traits that we see, which begs the question, is red actually the sussiest color in Among Us?
That's such a... Oh, okay. Dude, what a title for a game theory video. Is red actually the sussiest color?
What color is most likely to draw suspicion if you're the imposter? And best of all, what color choice is going to be the best at throwing off suspicion so your name isn't tossed around during the next emergency meeting?
I think brown is the least likely to garner suspicion because everybody hates brown, so they don't want to look at it.
Strap in, theorists, because
Therefore, people are less likely to follow you around.
Wide open. Now, I'm sure we're all familiar with the phrase "never judge a book by its cover," right? There's just one problem with that. It is fundamentally opposed to our programming as human beings. We are designed to make snap judgments based on immediate appearances. It is essentially a leftover survival instinct. If something looks...
Did he just dunk on Hello Neighbor? You know, it's actually so valid that he did that because the Hello Neighbor Twitter account was really cringe and tweeted at MatPat forever to do a theory. I think this is why he did it. Look at this tiny build. I believe MatPat's going to enjoy this. I think MatPat will enjoy dissecting this frame by frame. Yes, MatPat, you should totally reply to our DM. Eyes emoji, eyes emoji. Ooh, it reeked of desperation.
Dangerous, it's best to avoid it for our own survival. And one of the first factors that we're gonna process is color. Color psychology is the study of how colors affect human mood and behavior. For instance, studies have shown that white-colored pills are associated with greater pain relief, and red pills are associated with stronger stimulant properties. Other studies have shown that the color red can prompt people to react with greater speed and force. Something as simple as color can even affect your performance on a test. When college students were given one of 3 colored numbers, red, green, or black, and then asked to take a simple test, those with the red numbers scored more than 20% lower than those presented with either the green or black numbers.
All right, chat, quickly, what is your favorite color? All right, chat, you know how it goes. If any of you guys say red, you're basically self-reporting. You're self-reporting that you are more dumb. Wait, if I like purple and red is 20% lower, and I like purple, that's a mix of blue and red, so am I 10% dumber?
That is a huge difference, all from witnessing a different color prior to taking the test. On the complete other
Okay, hold on. A 20% lower score just because they looked at a red thing before a test? I'm gonna need a source and a backup study on that one. I don't know how accurate that is, Chief.
Colors like blue have shown themselves to have a calming effect on people. Some studies have even shown that looking at the color blue literally release endorphins that help you physically calm down.
I'm so endorphed right now.
Real effects happening simply by looking at different colors. So, given that science has proven time and again that we have both physical and mental reactions to color, how can we use this knowledge to our advantage in a game like Among Us? Which color is most likely to trigger your crew member's suspicion?
It's a crazy sentence.
One of the most sus colors isn't red, it's actually yellow. This is backed by both science and history. Let's just cover the science first, shall we? Our eyes use 2 different types
I've always associated yellow with food.
Rods and cones. The rods are for vision at low levels of light. Cones, meanwhile, are the ones that are dealing with color. In fact, there are actually 3 different types of cones, each one with sensitivity to a different color range. Because 2 of the 3 have reasonably high sensitivities in the green range, humans are able to process more shades of green than any other color. But not all greens are created
That sucks, because green sucks.
Down our biological sensitivity to light, our eyes work best at the light wavelength of 555 nanometers. That means that under normal lighting conditions, our eyes are most sensitive to a yellowish green color.
Yellow also sucks the majority of the time. If it's not like a bright yellow, and it's the most yellow that you can get, if it's got a tinge of green in it, I hate it.
In other words, during an emergency meeting,
I just don't like green, man.
Or yellow, you're gonna be the one that your crewmates' eyes are naturally drawn towards. Making matters worse is that throughout human history, the color yellow has been associated with feelings of deceit and betrayal. Why?
Yellow?
To find out, let's just take a trip back to 500 AD, when post-classical art was beginning to take shape. During this time period, artists were working hard to recreate scenes from the Bible. There was just one problem with that. The Bible isn't very descriptive about what people were wearing. That meant that the artists had to make some creative choices. And one trend that stuck, they dressed Judas Iscariot, the disciple example that betrayed Jesus and ultimately caused his crucifixion.
That's not fair, man.
Yellow.
I don't think yellow did that.
So many works of art.
Yellow is bananas, yellow is foods, yellow is bees, yellow is honey. I only associate yellow with good things.
People just eventually began to associate the color yellow with traitors and liars.
Oh, is that why they say yellow belly? Isn't a yellow belly isn't that like a bad thing?
16th century Spain, for instance, they literally dressed
You yellow belly.
heresy in yellow capes to show their betrayal to the Spanish Inquisition. And the color has lived in infamy ever since.
Banana!
You
Oh,
see?
no,
Don't you just
stop.
want to yeet it
No.
out of an airlock? But then what
Yeah.
about green? I just talked about how green is the color that pops the best for our eyes. Is that a sussy color too? No.
Wait, but you describe people that are green as they are new, they are fresh, they are untested, they are unexperienced. If you're green, then you're new to something, right?
At first glance, it certainly feels like green and
Maybe
guilt
can't be
should go
trusted.
hand in hand. After all, it's the go-to color used by animation companies to show evil magic. Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty, Rasputin in Anastasia, Ursula in Little Mermaid, and
She-Go from Kim Possible when she has like the fists that go green.
Bruno's fortune-telling in Encanto. It's a color
Wait, Bruno's not the bad guy though,
that's
right?
constantly associated with treacherous villains, strange potions, toxicity. That said, any negative connotations of the color
Nurgle.
are far outweighed by its natural sense of calm.
Green is not a creative color.
Sure, it might not be, but it is a relaxing color. In a 2020 study,
Okay, green is relaxing because I don't think it's because of the color. I think it's because of the nature effect where all the plants out there in the world, they're all green, right? So they have the calming effect by being plants and be like living creatures and the living things.
39% of people said
But it's
that
not
green
the
made them feel
color,
relaxed
right?
and content. Again, this is one of
maybe
those
not.
primal instinct things. Our bodies want to be in nature. We are programmed to eat nice green plants because green means health and
Okay, that's not true. Yeah, we're programmed to do. If we're programmed to do it, try giving a bit of broccoli to a 3-year-old child. Yeah, see how programmed humans are to eat broccoli when you do that.
it means safety. As such, we're naturally inclined to trust green things more than most other colors. So green is good and
Oh yeah, why does the Green Party lose every election that it's ever in?
sus. What other colors should we be on the lookout for? Well,
Brown.
in 2020, some
Don't like brown.
researchers from University College London asked over 400 people to pick a color from a color generation website that they associated with feelings of guilt. Number 2
Orange.
came in as black, and number 1 was our good old buddy, red. Let's just start with black. You see, black
know.
is an
Like,
interesting
I'd
color.
say like a
It's
dark
naturally
orange.
paired with dark emotions like sadness, depression, and fear. It also feels dark and shadowy, as if you're trying to purposely hide something. That said, it might be hiding too well. A study of what car colors tend to get into the most accidents showed that the riskiest car to drive is a black car because its
Oh, yeah,
darker
yeah,
colors
'cause
make
d-
it blend in
darker.
more with the surrounding area. So, in an emergency meeting, even though black is paired with more negative connotations, if you keep your mouth shut, you should be fine. That said, if someone does bring up your name, be careful and play humble. Black is actually considered to give impressions of high authority and dominance. Think about black belts in
Really?
martial arts or the black
Oh,
diamonds
okay.
on ski slopes. Both show a level of mastery and skill. You are one of the elite. It's why villains wear black. Same thing for judges. It puts them into positions of power.
That's why villains learn black. Same thing for judges. Matt is subconsciously trying to get us to associate judges with villains because the justice system is inherently unbalanced and unfair towards the lower class. I totally agree with that. Let's go, Matt Pat. Let's go.
Do
Just
not
punch myself.
wear black
Whoops.
to court because it doesn't give people the impression that you're innocent or willing to listen. Instead, it makes you look powerful, aggressive, and in those contexts, guilty. Something that you're also looking to avoid in an emergency meeting. Which now brings us back to where this whole question first started, red. How sus is red? Well, in addition to being highly associated with guilt like black and being a bright visible color like yellow, red has a few other things that are working against it. First, red is obviously the color of danger and warnings. Like I mentioned at the top of the episode, seeing red makes you perform worse on tests. Red can also cause heart rates to rise and
I
blood
still don't know
pressures
about
to
that one.
increase. All of these things are going to be working against your ability to convince others that you're innocent. But what deals red another killing blow is the psychological phenomenon called the recency effect. If it wasn't obvious, the recency effect is about how humans remember the most recent information they're presented with best. A Harvard University study showed that approximately 4 pieces of information can be held in short-term memory at a given time. This is because
4? Bro, I'm lucky if I can remember half of a piece of information.
information in short-term memory only lasts between 15 and 30 seconds, meaning that people are
True.
going to tend to rely more
I've already forgotten most of this video.
heavily on the last few things they've seen when making a decision. How's that at all related to Among Us? Well, both the emergency meeting button and the animation it creates use the color red,
Oh,
which
that's
immediately
subtle.
gets people
That's
thinking
funny.
about that color in a negative and suspicious light. Red is the color on the top of everyone.
But hold on, the circle is green, which would lean people into thinking that it's more green because when the discuss circle pops up, that's the most recent thing that you've seen, right?
Going into the meeting because it's the one that they literally just saw flash across the screen. But the final nail in Red's coffin, the psychological effect of priming. Priming is when you expose the brain to something which then influences how you react to something else. Probably best explained through an example. If I show you these 3 words, noodle, bowl, stew,
Delicious.
and then I ask you to complete
Tasty.
this word, S blank blank P, what do you think
Sap nap.
you're gonna say? Science shows that you're most likely to say the word soup over the other completely acceptable answer of soap, because I've already activated a bunch of words in your brain
What, do you not put soap in your soup? What's going
around
on?
the idea of soup, noodle, bowl, stew. Your brain has been primed to think about soup. If I had done the exact opposite and said bath, bubble, shampoo, now I'm able to switch your brain's priming and you would have been more likely to have thought soap first.
Soup.
It can also be something as simple as
You don't
saying the
bathe in your
phrase, I've
soups?
always subscribed to the belief that soup is better than stew. By saying the word subscribe, I've actually primed you for that idea so that later in the video, when I ask you to subscribe, you're more likely to do it. Anyway,
Oh, so if I say subscribe, it'll make people subscribe subconsciously, and I can put that subconscious seed in their head without actually saying to subscribe. Interesting,
how
Matt
does
Pat.
any of this apply to Among Us? Well, red is front and center in the game's artwork. He's the icon for the game on Twitter. He is the first color that people think of when they think of characters.
Red
from
is
this
the
game.
protagonist
And not
of
only
Among
is
Us.
he the most prominent, he's also the most likely to be visualized as the imposter in all the marketing. Take a look at their holiday merch page. The first thing you see is red as the imposter with fangs and a long tongue. There are 2
The developers have been setting up red players to fall since the very beginning. You didn't know, chat. If you're a red player, it was rigged from the
t-shirts
start.
with red having an imposter shadow or holding a knife. Heck, the official Among Us VR page on Steam has red standing over a dead crewmate telling us to keep our mouths shut. Everything is priming your brain to connect the idea of red and imposter, so that when the time comes to suggest who to yeet out of the airlock, red is always going to be the one that people pay attention to and throw under the bus. So if your goal when
So you can
become
use
the
some
imposter is to
psychological
win,
tactics
the
in
best
this.
thing to do is start steering clear of red, black, and yellow. All of this being said, what color should you be picking if you don't want to immediately be called out?
I think it's gonna be brown. I have no reason to think this. I
Well, there are
really
2
just think it
routes
is.
depending on your gaming style. If you're an experienced player who wants to be involved in the emergency meetings, choose blue. Not only does the color blue release
'Cause they trust
relaxation
blue.
endorphins into the brain, it's also the color that science repeatedly shows is the most closely associated with trustworthiness. There is, however,
As soon as you start speaking as a blue character, like, have the endorphins been released yet? Do you trust me yet? I'm calming, I'm blue, I'm calming. Have the endorphins been released
one
yet?
more solution that can keep you out of trouble, and that's by staying out of the minds of your fellow players. In 2021, the game updated to add 6 more colors to the roster. Maroon,
Whoa,
rose,
6 more colors?
coral, gray, tan, and banana.
Oh, ew. Oh, I hate all of those. Especially banana. It's gonna be banana because it's the most gross to look at. I don't like any of
No,
those.
Stop it. Now, based on everything
Rose
we've
is
talked
kinda
about
nice.
today, any of these could be a winning choice. Why? Because their strength
banana.
is the exact opposite of red's.
When you look at it, it's light. It's non-offensive.
In 2021, Inner Sloth released their statistics around the most and least played colors. Red, black, white, and rose were the top 4, while gray, maroon,
Rose?
brown, and tan were rounding out the bottom.
I knew
Red and
brown would be at the
coral,
bottom.
meanwhile, were mixed into the lower middle. In short, all that means is that these new colors aren't primed for anything. And because they're not bright primary colors, they don't come with strong pre-packaged emotional.
Why do you hate non-offensive looking colors? Because I'm brain broken from using YouTube too much, and I'm used to the oversaturated PogU thumbnails that jump out at you and slap you in the face, so that if something is more subtle, it does not appeal to my monkey brain anymore because it's been ruined by YouTube thumbnails and TikTok.
Connotations. Pastels are just softer colors, and as such, they evoke softer emotions. They're light and delicate. They're the supports rather than the leads. In meetings, you want people to focus on the big, loud orange guy in the corner, not the little old cream-colored.
Hey, that's how dare you say?
Quietly off to the the side. Tan, for instance,
I'm not
being
big,
a lighter
okay?
version of brown, gives a sense of
26-1.
dependability and stability, and in design is used more as a background color. It's unassuming, which is perfect when you don't want people to start thinking
Yeah,
about
tan
what
is
you
very
can do in the
unassuming.
game. Meanwhile, gray is your other best choice. It's also a pale color, but unlike banana and tan, it doesn't evoke
I kinda like that
feelings
gray.
of anything, really. Gray is just the most blank of blank canvases. Also, have you taken a look at the maps recently? They all lean heavily into the grays as a color choice, which makes a lot of sense. It's a lot of machinery, spaceships, space stations, all things made out of gray metals. Other characters will notice a green character running past them, but
Oh, that's right, dude. That's literally built-in camouflage. That's right.
so much. And this holds true in real life too. Gray cars are actually the second least likely to be noticed on the roads because they blend in with their surroundings. So there you have it. If you want to give yourself the best chance of not being called sus, your best choices are the newer, lighter colors like gray, tan, and banana. These are going to be doing the
I just don't like the banana one. Gray is probably a good
best
shout,
job of
though.
keeping you out of the interrogation spotlight as long as you manage to keep your mouth shut. Blue, meanwhile, is a strong secondary choice, especially if you plan on being a more active player. But the biggest takeaway of all is that the memes are true. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Top dog of sussiness is in
It's
fact
not
the king of the
necessarily
red.
sus,
Not
doesn't
just
mean you
because it's
did it.
popular, but because people naturally associate red with guilt, with warnings, and because
If people just think that you did it, does that make you more suspect? I guess so.
Sloth has been sabotaging Red every single game from the start with their marketing. It's not just a meme, it's science and psychology. But hey, well, it's certainly useful to know every possible strategy on how to kill off your crewmates one by one. Gotta admit, it's a little inefficient. Imagine what sort of strategies you could pull off if you had a whole
wanna see if he's gonna
army
announce his
of
new channel.
imposters. Fortunately, thanks to today's sponsor, you don't have to.
So today's sponsor. Wait, is he gonna announce the new channel? He's not gonna announce the new channel. I think it's gonna be a YouTube video theory channel, to be honest. It could be book theory, and all signs would point to that being like making the most sense. I think it's gonna be YouTube videos, because I think there's a lot of YouTube videos out there and there's a lot of content that you can make from it, but it'll probably be books. Anyway, if you haven't already done the subscribe, then you are, no, I'm not gonna say it. No, I'm not gonna say it. You should go ahead and subscribe.